stuff.
Welcome into another edition of Things and Stuff. And on today's episode, we're going to take a look at this right here, a giveaway at a Cubs game that I recently went to, a Greg Maddux rain delay bobblehead. The first night game that the Cubs in Wrigley Field had. It got rained out, hence the bobblehead, rain delay bobblehead. The game never was finished. I remember as a kid, I was watching this. It was so bad that our electricity went out. So in order for me to continue to pay attention to the game, I had to grab a radio with batteries and listen to the game. Probably, not the most important thing. I should have been looking for a flashlight and stuff like that or candles, but I needed to know what was going on in that game. So I remember having the radio listening to it, and, the game got called and never got finished. The next day was the official first night game when they beat the Mets. I don't remember what the score was, but I remember they beat the Mets the next day. So that's considered the first, record book night game. But 88 was the first attempt at it. I think they got maybe 3 or 4 innings in. I remember Ryne Sandberg hit a home run. Rick Sutcliffe started that game. And the rains just came down heavy, and they just never could finish the game. As far as I know, none of those stats are in the record book. So Sandberg's home run probably never counted. Anything else that happened in a game is like it never happened. What this bobblehead is, for those who are not aware, first of all, if you want to YouTube the video of it, you could do it. Just type in Greg Maddux tarp slide. So in the rain delay, they put a tarp. Everybody knows, you watch a baseball game, you put a tarp on the field. During the rain delay, 4 Cubs players all slid on the tarp like it was a slip and slide. If you watch the video, the first guy you see is Al Nipper. I'm guessing they never considered making a bobblehead for him. Then after him, it was Jody Davis, iconic Cubs player, was a catcher in the early to late 80s. And then after him, it was Greg Maddux and Les Lancaster, and they're holding hands and sliding on the tarp. And I could only imagine today if an ace or a star player was doing that. Could you imagine Shohei Ohtani sliding on a tarp and the Los Angeles Dodgers front office staff not having a heart attack, or their fan base? I couldn't even imagine, somebody the caliber of like an Aaron Judge or somebody trying to do this, and the front office is just not having a stroke seeing their star player, sliding on the tarp. But at the time, it was at 1988. Maybe it was a looser time and people didn't think like that. Greg Maddux was at the time coming into his own. He was becoming the ace of the staff and becoming a star of the Cubs. Still upset that he ended up signing with the Braves and had some great years there, but it's a different video. I'm not going to get into that. So anyway, this is a bobblehead based off of that moment when Greg Maddux slid on the tarp in 1988. As I mentioned earlier, in the game that got rained out, Ryne Sandberg had hit a home run. It's impossible for me to do this video and not mention him. As you see the picture in the background here, he had passed away a couple of weeks ago. And when my wife and daughter and I decided to go to a Cubs game, we were thinking about a month ago, like, let's pick a game to go to. And I saw there was a Greg Maddux bobblehead. I'm like, oh, I want that. Let's pick that day. I actually have another Greg Maddux bobblehead. Got it, I think it was 2014 when they had the Wrigley Field 100-year celebration. They were doing all these different bobbleheads. So I went for that year. So this is my second one. The idea that Sandberg had passed a couple of weeks ago, we knew when we went, because it was less than a week after he passed away, we knew that his statue was going to have a big memorial with drawings and illustrations and cards and all kinds of memories put around the statue, and that's exactly what we saw. So I knew when we went, we were going to see a lot of tributes to him and signs and everything, and made it a point to go to the statue and see, all the memorial illustrations and decorations that people had been doing since the news had broke the Monday before we went to the Cubs game. So definitely a huge fan of Ryne Sandberg. I grew up on the 84 Cubs. They are what got me into not just baseball, but got me into sports in general. And what I used to do years ago was I used to send baseball cards to players I wanted to get autographs from. I didn't do a lot. I maybe did like 10 of these, but over the years. And when Ryne Sandberg was the manager of the Philadelphia Phillies, I sent this card to him to get signed. It came back unsigned, which is, whatever. But he sent me this card here, signed, in his Philly uniform. Maybe because he was a Phillies manager, he couldn't sign anything Cubs, but he sent it back. There's a nice letter saying, the Phillies are going to do good this year, stuff like that. Appreciates the support. So I got this framed some years back, and I included it. It's still red and blue colors. I mean, if you don't really look that closely, you won't even notice the Philly logo on there. But anyway, I thought this is a good thing to have in the background. Another thing is I'm a big baseball traveler. So there's 30 parks. I've been to 19 of them. And this book here, my father gifted to me some years back. It's basically a panoramic picture book of all the different parks. Unfortunately, it's got the New York Mets City Field in the front. I'm not a fan of the Mets, but whatever. Cool. Good for them. Actually, I haven't been there. That's the park I need to get to. So I've been to 19 of them. Actually, this year was the first time I've gone in like 6 or 7 years to another park outside of Chicago because, we had a baby and, with COVID made it hard to get out and do a lot of traveling. So this year, on my birthday in April, we went to see the Seattle Mariners. They've been on my short list for a long time. I've always wanted to go to Seattle, so I went to a Seattle Mariners game, got this happy birthday baseball in one of the gift shops there to kind of commemorate it. Funny story, I wanted to get the giveaway that they were doing there, and I saw the game we were going, they're giving away a camouflage Mariners jersey. I want that. And we went about 30, 45 minutes before the game started because I thought it's not like Chicago. They're not going to have like a huge crowd or anything. It's early April. The team's actually pretty good, but I mean, nobody knows if they're going to be good this year. So I thought I could get it easy. And no, they're all gone by the time we got there. So I learned my lesson. When we went to this Cubs game, I knew I had to be there right when the gates opened. So that's what we did. We got there a couple hours early. My wife and daughter were not happy because it was super hot. And you're standing there for, an hour waiting to get in. But you got to beat these people because these fans don't play around. They want this bobblehead, they're going to get it. So I've never seen them in a round container like this. Generally, they were like in square rectangle containers. I've gotten a bunch over the years. First one I've gotten in a round like drum like this. And when people are walking around in the park, they're carrying these things like they're a baby. They're doing like this. They're holding these things for dear life. But they're holding them like they're babies. And we got 3 of them because there's 3 of us that went. I will tell you, it is a pain in the ass to walk around with these things while trying to hold like a hot dog and your water or your drink or whatever. And you're carrying these things and you're trying to go upstairs and find your seats and it's 90 degrees. These are small complaints, of course, because I got it and I'm home and whatever now. But in the moment, in real time, it's like, oh man, is this really worth this bobblehead? Because I got to carry this damn thing around for 4 hours. Take it on the bus and the train. So it was worth it, and we're going to find out why right now. Let's go ahead and open this thing up and check out the Greg Maddux rain delay bobblehead. There's the top. I really like how they got the logo on here. That's pretty cool looking. Takes me back to that 80s era, man. So here's the inside. Man, that looks cool. I'm, kind of scared to open this because I don't want to break it. It's got a top cover here. And there you go. All right, let's take this thing out. Don't drop it. Don't break it, dude. All right, here we go. So that is the bobblehead. Pretty cool. He's got the water splash, if you see that here. So he's splashing in the slip and slide pose. Reynolds Wrap is the sponsor. I'm assuming at the time, and I think they still are, their name is all over the tarp, so it makes sense. And there he is wearing the 31, which number he wore during his time with the Cubs. 2 different occasions he was with the Cubs, and that number is retired, hanging on the flagpole. There you go. It's a bobble. Pretty cool. Got the Cub logo here. I heard, and someone will have to clarify in the comments for me, that Mark Burley and the White Sox used to do this all the time, sliding on the tarp, which I couldn't even imagine that was a thing. Again, and then that was a lot later than 88. That would have been like, what, in the mid-2000s or 2007, 8 era, something like that. That would have scared me as a Sox fan if I saw that. And I heard they have a bobblehead for him doing the same exact thing. So kind of the equivalent to Greg Maddux for the White Sox, classic ace pitcher for them for years and years. Was doing the same thing, sliding on tarps. That's just nuts. Again, I can't even imagine any front office of a team or a franchise where you're a star player, especially a pitcher. Pitchers get hurt all the time. Sliding on a tarp and feeling like, yeah, he'll be able to pitch on Tuesday, whatever. That's just nuts, man. But this is pretty cool. You got the Cubs shirt out. You got the emblem here. Your little Cubby bear in the sleeve. My daughter, when she just turned 6 recently, she got hurt. She kept calling him Great Maddux the whole day. I was like, yeah, he was pretty great. So that works. I don't know if Greg Maddux himself has ever been called that, but it was pretty funny. I had to correct her. It's like, yeah, he was pretty great. Yeah, this is pretty cool. I can't wait to put this on my shelf. I have a baseball shelf. It's mostly Cubs stuff, but there's a few items I got from my travels. I've got a cool Roberto Clemente bust I got from a Pirates game I went to. I went to a San Diego game, and they had a Will Myers Ghostbusters bobblehead, which I got. So there are some other things up there. They're not Cubs, but I'm going to put this on the shelf. I don't know how I'm going to fit it up there because I'm running out of room. Glad I stood in line and sweated and was miserable out in the sun waiting for this thing to get it. But if I didn't go early, I wasn't going to get it. I learned my lesson from Seattle, not getting that camouflage jersey. And of course, I come out the game in Seattle and there's people selling the things, I was like, no, man, I was supposed to get it for free. I'm not paying for it. That's ridiculous. Get out of here. Occasionally what I'll do is when I get something like this, I'll look on eBay and see if they're selling them. And of course, there's people selling this thing the day. You're sitting in your seats and there's a guy already selling it for like $100. So there you go. The Greg Maddux bobblehead. Rest in peace to Ryne Sandberg. And whatever team you root for, all the best to your team. But for me, go Cubs. And thanks for checking out the video until I do another one of these.